welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to do like a series on VA disability, VA claims, VA pre-discharge claim because I am actually retiring from the military. By the time I retire, I'll have about 21 and a half years served, right? And I am now going through the VA disability, VA claim process myself, right? And I felt like going through this, I had to learn a lot by myself and be able to ask people who recently went through it within the last year, right? But if I didn't have anybody to ask, I would have had to, kind of wing it. And there's a lot of things where I feel like I was winging it, but I did have a VSO, which is a veteran service officer or something like that. And I also had some friends who just recently retired too. So I got blessed with that. But this is just a video to help people who are either going to separate without retiring, but they're getting out of the military, and people who are going to retire. Either way, you should do a VA claim because even if you feel like you are 100% whole, there's some things that can come down the line within like a year of you retiring or separating, a couple years, and it could be because of your service in the military. So I'm just going to go through the forms that I had to fill out to give to my VSO rep. And right now I am in my pre-discharge claim process. So that is when you're within the last 6 months of your career in the military, you will be filing a pre-discharge claim, right? So last 180 days of your time, you want to file a claim and get your VSO or DAV, which is the something, I don't know what DAV stands for, but you can either choose a DAV reps to do your VA claim, pre-discharge claim, or you can do a VSO, or you can do it yourself, just going through va.gov, right? But I did not want to do it myself because I heard such great things about my VSO here at my base, and I just wanted to be patient and trust the process. So what I will tell you is before you're 180 days out, you want to contact your VSO or DAV, right? So I contacted them maybe 220 days prior, right? And that is the lowest amount of time you want to contact them, because usually your DAV or VSO will have so many other people that they have to file a claim for. You are just a drop in the bucket, right? So I contacted them about 220 days out just to get an appointment for a month later to be in contact with her. So within my 180-day window, right? So she gave me an email, a calendar appointment for that appointment for 180 days out, or with 1 month from the time I contacted her at 220 days. And then she also gave me some forms to fill out, right? So these are the forms you will need in order to file a VA disability claim, right? So when you are getting out of the military, so it's called a pre-discharge claim. So I'm going to look at my my forms here, but I'm going to talk to you about it. So first, you will have to do a separation health assessment Part A form, right? So it's going to be called SHA A, so SHA A form, right? So basically what this form is, I want you to know it is a DOD form. So anything that you put on this, don't think it's only going to the VA. The military will see it. So if you put something on your form that you never reported to the military, you could go ahead and get kind of like your date of retirement or your date of separation pulled back, and you could be med boarded based off of something that wasn't reported that is detrimental to your service in the military. It's happened to people. So just be mindful to whatever you put on this SHA form, you will be held accountable. You're going to tell them the truth, but there's some things that you may not, if you didn't report it to the military, maybe do it on like another claim when you're outside of the military. All right, so the separation health assessment form, I'm just going to read the purpose. It says this information collected is used to assist the DoD and or Department of Veterans Affairs examiners in assessing the health and wellness status of individuals separating from active duty, as well as to determine disqualifying medical conditions for medical retention and or compensation. So basically this form is something that you're going to fill out about your personal information, like your contact information, your DOD ID number, which is on your back of your card, your CAT card, your social security number, your date of birth, your ethnicity, your gender, where, like service, whether you're Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard, etc. Active duty if you're guard, but I think this is really just for active duty, because you can have active duty non-AGR, active duty AGR, or not on active duty status, but you can still file one of these if you're obviously not active duty too, but you are active guard reserve. Okay. Let's see what else is on here. Let's go to the meat. So on this form, they're going to ask you to list out all of your medications that you are on currently. So if you don't know them by heart, you just know, like, hey, I'm on a gas pill or anti-acid pill. Just put the actual medical term for that medication on your form, and how many milligrams it is too. And then they're going to ask you questions like, have you received mental health support within the last month, or have you seen mental health providers? They're going to just ask you, like, have you been through any surgeries? Also, have you suffered from any injuries that you did not seek medical help on? So there's, with us being in the military, there's a lot of things that you don't do. Like you may not go to the clinic or go to the hospital because you feel like you can tough it out. That's the wrong thing to do. You want, people have always said, go to the hospital, go get yourself checked out. There's a reason for it, because at the end of your service, you're gonna want to have a list of documented on your form, right? And there's things that I didn't go to the clinic for, and I just toughed it out too. And I think that was a mistake. So what I'm doing now, while I have a couple more months left in the military, I'm getting seen for it, because I do want it to be documented and that they do know that I have an ailment. Now, these are things that I'm currently still suffering from that I just never got seen for, right? But I'm making an ode to myself that I should be getting this documented, and this is because of what I've done in the military service. Let's see, and then this form is about 15 pages long. Maybe, I don't know if it's this one or the other one, or if it's 10 pages long, but it'll go ahead and list every element that you can think of, and you will check yes if you got it or no if you got it. And if you do, you're gonna say when you got it, how long has it been since you've had it, what triggered it. Like, let's say if you have tuberculosis, or if you've ever coughed up blood, you've had asthma, bronchitis, sinusitis, thyroid, goiter, like if you gotta frequently urinate, if you had any ear, nose, throat trouble, a hernia, any type of surgeries, you want to list it out. So that's what this form right here is good for. Let's see. And then they also ask, about ringing. Like, it's broken up by compartments. So they'll have one about hearing, they'll have one about mental health, they'll have one about vision, if you had any head injuries. So this is a very detailed form that you're going to want to fill out. So the second form I'm going to talk about, it's called VA Form 21-52 6EZ form. This is the actual form that the VA will use or your VSO or DAV will use to submit to the VA. So basically, it's everything that you put on your SHA, but now it's on this VA form. And this form right here is specifically for the VA. So this one right here, I think, is 15 pages long. It has a whole bunch of words on like the first 8 pages that you don't have to fill out. But this one is basically the application for disability compensation and related compensation benefits. So this is what you will use to file your form. File your claim. And this is going to be the whether you're doing a pre-discharge, which is called a BDD, or if it's just a standard claim after you've gotten out of the military. Okay. So you fill out your personal information, your address, you're filling out your email address, you're putting also in there your direct deposit information, because they're going to use this form after they give you your percentage of how disabled you are to start giving you money, basically, like disability money, right? So there's lines for that. So what's most important is Section 5, which is the claim information one, and that's where you will actually just list out each disability that you are claiming, right? So whether that's you've had ankle surgery, back surgery, knee surgery, or if you sprain your ankle once, or if you you're allergic to something, you're going to list every element that you want to list. Or if you have depression or anxiety, you want to list that. And then, so the first page only goes up to 15. There is a page at the bottom where there's more room if you have more elements. And that page goes to 20. So the max you can claim on this form is about 35. But I didn't have to go up to 35, but I assume that if you needed to do more, you probably could just get another form, right? And just fill everything all out. So those are the two forms you will need in order to file a pre-discharge VA disability claim. And I'm going to do a video on my very first CMP, compensation and pension appointment that I had for my disability, and I'm just going to give you that information. I'm going to keep it raw. But one thing I want to say is, so once I filled out these forms, I gave them to my VSO. We waited until our appointment time, and that appointment time was probably about an hour and a half that we talked about everything that I claimed. And what she does is she will also go through your medical records too, he or she, right? But I had a she. And she will make sure that what you're claiming is on there, and she will be able to identify things that you think that you aren't even possible of claiming, and you can put it on there too. She's helped me with that. So that's really what your VSO or DAV is about, like to help you get through this process and educate you and see what you they know what you can claim, and you may not know it because it's your first claim, right? But they know what to do. So she was very helpful for that, helping me figure out what I can claim, how to claim it, like how to call it, like what title I would name it, and then from there she'll tell you, hey, update your forms based on what we talked about. Once you update your forms, you sign it, you send it back to her, and then she's supposed to file your claim. So no lie, it took her a month to file my claim because she's the only one for this area that's responsible for my base. So she's filing claims for all kinds of members, right? So I probably contacted her no more than like 5 times throughout that 1 month process, because you don't hear back from her, right? You don't get a phone call, you don't have her number. She just called you or talks to you, you go see them in person, and then that's it. And then you give her the update through email, and then you're waiting to hear back on, like, I filed your claim, right? So I had to do some other updates to my form throughout that 1 month period I was waiting. So that's why I contacted her. I was like, hey, here's an update to my form. Do you need anything else? And then, like, probably at week 3, I asked, I was like, hey, I haven't seen any emails or any phone calls come through for VA claims, for the CMP exams. Is there any update for claiming my VA claim? I think that triggered her to actually remember that, okay, I need to file this girl's claim, right? So the following week, I got an email from the VA, and I started getting emails from VES, which is Veteran Examination Services, saying, hey, we saw that you have a claim through va.gov, and we will be responsible for doing your examination based on everything that you claimed on your form. So all the items that I claimed, they are going to examine me to see if I have it, or to see how it affects my body, how it affects my mind, how it's affected my life and my service. And then once they document that, and I mean doctors or nurses or PAs or someone with a MS degree, right? Who's a responsible medical person, professional, they will fill out something called a DBQ. They will put their findings based on what you tell them in those appointments, and that goes back to the VA. And whoever is your adjuster, which is your VA adjuster, that person will assign a certain rating to how disabled you are for that one claim, right? So when I say one claim, I mean every item that you claim is one whole claim, one pre-discharge claim, right? So whether you have 30 items or 10 items or 2 items, 5 items, you will get an appointment for each item, or a person will see you in a clump of items for one appointment. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. It is a long process. It's supposed to go quick, but I will tell you, as soon as she filed it, I don't don't know when, but I know the next week after I contacted her, like, hey, is there any update on my claim? I started getting emails and phone calls from the VA. So let me know if you have any questions or anything. Okay, thanks.